Hi guys, my name is Rachael Messer. I'm a film, stage, and voice actress. If you want to see all the stuff that I've done, you can click the link below and I will put my website. You can see all the cool stuff there. People on Twitter and Facebook have been asking me a whole bunch of questions, and this is a video blog to answer some of those. So I'm going to be reading off my social media activating device, and I'm just going to go with random questions in no particular set or order. I'm going to apologize now if I missay your name. I love you to death, but I suck at speaking, which is ironic. First question comes from Jordan Thompson, and it's, what is my favorite voice actor or actress? So my favorite voice actor would have to be either Richard Horvitz or Richard Ian Cox. I love them both like so much. I'm thinking about skipping the actress. I can't remember her name. Tyler Song asks, when you go to a convention as a guest, do you pay for airport and hotel, or the convention provides it for you? It depends. It's like kind of whatever's in your rider or your contract. Certain conventions will give you a hotel room for the weekend. Certain will reimburse you for travel. Otherwise, travel's just on you. It really depends on what's in your rider and kind of what they can afford, because if one guest is really, really expensive, then they might not be able to afford, you know, a couple others. So Matthias asked, how hard is it to voice children and boy characters? For me, pretty easy because my range goes all over the place. Kind of like energy. But I have an easier time with little boy voices. Mainly, I think it's because I really like voicing little boys. It's kind of one of my favorite roles to do. Justin V has a really good question. How do you avoid damaging your voice during a voice acting session? This is something I get sent in Facebook messages a lot, is how do, like, this voice hurts, what am I doing wrong? Chances are I can't really hear what you're doing wrong, but I can explain a little bit about how the voice works in hopes that you guys don't hurt yourself or do any vocal damage. The way the vocal cord works, the best example, because I am a very talkative person. So when you talk, your vocal cords vibrate back and forth, and occasionally they have a tendency to bang together. Occasionally, not a problem. The way you keep your vocal cords from banging together is with breath. So you want to make sure that when you speak, you are speaking fully supported. When you're speaking, you want the air to keep the vocal cords pushed apart. Random fact, the lower your voice goes, the slower they vibrate, and the higher your voice goes, the quicker they vibrate. Just random knowledge for you. When you are really, really tired, you get this kind of croaky sound, and I'm not super good at doing it on command, but kind of like this croaky kind of thing. If you're ever wondering what it is, just pay attention when you're tired and you will probably have that sound to it. What that is your vocal cords are not being pushed apart with enough air, so they are banging together and creating that frog sound. You can also hear it, it's kind of like the new California girl. A lot of the Kardashians are really guilty about speaking with that. It's called vocal fry if you ever want to Google it. When you have your vocal cords banging together, it's kind of like if I did this with my hands over and over and over again, eventually it's going to cause calluses on my hands. It kind of does the same thing on your vocal cords, and these are called vocal nodes. Really, there isn't like a natural way that I know of to get rid of vocal nodes. You have to go get a surgery done for it. They have to go in there, they have to cut them out. You have to not speak for, I think it's 6 months to a year, and you have to learn to speak all over again so that you don't redo the same damage. So that's my general rule of thumb. If it hurts, don't do it. Also make sure that you are drinking enough water, because the lubrication is going to help. If your vocal cords bang together, the water's gonna kind of stop it from rubbing as hard as it would together. Who types wanted to ask something but might not be appropriate out loud? Who just types this? Someone tweeted that at me. At Blown Happy Kid ask, do you think an actor completely disappearing into a character retrospectively affects themselves? I have no clue. That's, I think, called method acting. If my bachelor's in theater performance has taught me anything, that's gonna be method acting. And I don't really do that, so I don't have any personal experience about getting lost in a character or stuck like that. There's been some plays I've done where I got really into character, and when I went backstage, when I wasn't on stage, I would stay in character. But it was more so like anything that was highly dramatic. I didn't need to be going back and forth, and I didn't want to be, you know, making jokes with people backstage and then I have to go on stage and cry. It's gonna be a lot harder than if I just stay focused on what I'm doing and what my character, or where my character is at. But as to whether it affects their health or not, I have no say. I'm Switzerland with that, I guess. At whatever this name is, wants to know any microphone recommendations. Yes. If you're going the cheap route, there is a thing called the Samsung Meteor mic. It's like $80 off Best Buy, and if you're going for a USB mic or you're just getting started, it's wonderful. I love it. I highly recommend it to anyone that's just getting started out. When you start getting into condenser mics that require phantom power and all this kind of stuff, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Those kind of mics tend to be tailored for different voices. So I can't say that the microphone that works best for my voice is gonna work best for James Earl Jones. It's just a different kind of thing. So what you can do is go to Guitar Center, you can buy a good mic, check it out, see if it works for you. If not, they have a great return policy. Yay! Which software is best to use? I personally love Adobe Audition. I recommend it. I think it's like $25 a month, but I love it so much. If you want to go the cheap route and you can't pay for Adobe, you can always use Audacity, which I'm not a super big fan of. It's crashed on me far too many times when I've used it, but it's there if you want to get started and you don't have a whole bunch of financial backing to throw into this. That's a-okay. I started the same way where I was like, any money I make voice acting, I will use to buy better equipment. So if you want to go that route, Audacity is out there. But I really love the features of Adobe Audition. At Thrillzilla TV asks, I feel I cover a decent range of voices, but have no acting experience. Is it still viable? Yes and no. Basically, if you're a voice actor, there is a really important word in that name, which is actor. And I'm just gonna segue this with the question that was overwhelmingly asked is, how do I get into voice acting? So having a lot of different voices is great. Some directors would rather pull in an actor and have them voice 5 different characters rather than have to cast 5 different actors and worry about if they're gonna make it to the studio on time, if they're running late, if they flake out, all those different kinds of things. So rather than having to do that, and if you can do multiple voices, that's great. But in the end, they are bringing in an actor. So that's not to discourage you, it's actually to encourage you. What I recommend for anyone who wants to get into voice acting is to start with acting lessons. You can go do community theater or plays. If you're in school, you can take theater. If you're in high school or college, there's all kinds of different acting classes you can do. You don't have to go my route, which was I got a bachelor's in theater performance. You don't have to get that risky. But you know, if you just want an extra credit hour or 2, there's always, beginners acting or any of that kind of stuff. Also, I teach acting if you really, really are like hurting for something. I teach it over Skype and I have like workshops and stuff. It's fun. But you need to learn how to act, and that's gonna be the biggest thing. But it's also kind of the most easily accessible. That's gonna be like the key point that I wanna drill in. If you take anything away from what I'm saying, it is this: take acting classes. After that, you wanna kinda think about setting up your studio, and I threw out 2 different editing softwares that you would need. There's all different kinds of mics out there. Again, if you were really hurting for budget, I highly recommend the Samsung Meteor mic. But there are also websites you can go and you can find free auditions. It's amazing. There's one website called Voice Acting Alliance, and you can find all different kinds of stuff. You can find fan dubs, original visual stuff, audio plays, all kinds of stuff. I do want to stress a point. Occasionally when you're on the free websites, you will find somebody advertising commercials, and you can do a voice for a commercial or something, and they won't pay you. They're ripping you off. If they're making money off of your voice, they should be paying you, and you should happily walk away from any project that is not offering that. There's also a thing called deferred payment, and what that essentially means is after the project is released and starts making money, then you get paid. So if they're not offering any form of payment, you should probably run. But you can go on Voice Acting Alliance. They have all kinds of fun stuff there. It's one of the first websites I started out with. It's a really nice community, and you can make a lot of friends that are also into voice acting and get a great start there. There's also another website, like I think it's part of a forum thing, but if you type into Google Voice Acting Club, it'll pop up. You can find all kinds of auditions on there as well. There's Behind the Voice Actors, Casting Call Club. I haven't messed with a whole bunch. I think I just found it like 2 days ago. You can also get on, there's a website called ACX, and what it does is audiobooks. And it pays you, so that's always nice. You make an account on there for free, and a lot of the books they paid by finished recording hour, or they pay by royalty share. Basically what that means is when a book sells for $5, you might get $2.50. There's another side of acting, which is going to be kind of like the pay-to-play sites. These are websites that require you to pay a subscription, whether it's monthly or yearly, and you can get on to voices.com or voice123.com, but everything on there, or most everything on there, pays. I think Voices doesn't allow anything on there that doesn't pay. Voice123 has some stuff that comes through that is like student or free volunteer work. I wouldn't recommend that to any beginner, because it's just not a wise investment to jump in, and you don't know how this is gonna turn out for you, so I don't want anybody to be negative $400 and be like, Rachael Messer told me to do it. I didn't. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your wonderful questions and for following me on Twitter and Facebook. I want to make more of these videos. I didn't have a chance to get to everyone's questions, but if you want to comment below or tweet me at Rachael Messer, I think I should do it that way, at Rachael Messer, or you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Rachael Messer Actress, and there's my page there, and you can leave a like. I don't recommend friend requesting me, but if you like my page, I do comment and respond back on there. I love that you guys are passionate about wanting to learn to get into this. This is something that brings me joy every day, and it really makes me feel good to hear about how certain characters that I've played affect you guys and how you have an attachment to them. And I love seeing people at cons that dress up and cosplay like one of my characters. It's kind of the coolest thing ever. If you liked this video, if it helped you, if it answered any of your questions, or you just found it entertaining to watch me talk about stuff and stutter over words, you can hit like below and it'll bring a smile to my face. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful time. I hope some of this information helped you out at least a little bit, and I hope that you guys comment below so that I can make another one and answer any other questions you guys have. Love you. Bye. Thank you.